Dear friends, welcome to my video. In this video, we'll see how to connect to an FTP server from your Android app. So, for this demonstration, I have created a FTP server on my local IP 192.168.1.1, and this is what we'll be using. So, and I have created a couple of folders, files, videos. So, we'll connect to one of these folders in our this demonstration. So, let's begin. I'll go to my Android Studio, create a new project, and I can name it as FTP Server Connect. You can name this app anything, it doesn't matter. Click on finish and wait for the environment to load. In the meantime, I can just quickly show you the dependencies what we'll use. So we'll use something called FTP client for this purpose, and that's a part of this particular dependency of Apache Commons Net. So if you read, so this provides the network utilities and protocol implementation such as FTP. So that's what we'll be using, and we can take the latest version which is 3.10.0, and so this we can copy from here. Now let me go back to my Android Studio environment, and the environment is still loading, so we may have to wait a while over here. Once the environment is loaded, so I'll go to my Gradle file over here, scroll down and just copy paste the part which we have copied from the Gradle for the implementation. It says something, replace with new library. So just do that and click on synchron. So if you're wondering where all the details have gone, so it has gone to a file called libsversions.tuml file, and this is the details which we have included over here. Nevertheless, it will take some time to sync, and in the meantime we can do the other part. So say for example, for in manifest file, we will have to define something called user permission internet, because all the access will happen over internet, although it's a FTP protocol, but definitely requires internet access. So that's all in manifest file. Gradle file is also I think done, syncing is done, so everything looks good now. Now let's jump to the layout part. So over here in the layout part, I think we can keep the text view as it is for now, but before that we'll have to include a few other text boxes or edit text in fact. So what we can do over here, we can include three text, plain text in fact. So one will be for FTP server, enter your the other one will be for username, and the third one will be for password. So for password, I think we can use the password edit text so that it's not visible to the end user, and then we can use a button to trigger it, and then text view is anywhere. So one by one, let me finish up. So I'll just, you can skip for a few minutes if you don't want to see how I'm doing the layout part, but if you want to see, you can keep viewing. So I don't need any text, but I'll definitely need a hint. So FTP server name or IP, name slash IP. So this will come as a grayed out part. I'll also give it some suitable ID. So edit text FTP server. Okay, and click on refactor. The second one will be the username. So again, I'll give it some constraints, and in terms of hint, I'll just give enter login user name. Okay, and if I scroll up, I'll again give it some meaningful ID. So user name. The third one will be the password. So here it's anyway automatically takes password, so that's fine. I'll just do this one, and I will give it some constraints, and here also probably I'll give it some hint, enter password. So and then in the button, I think I can just name it to connect to FTP and I'll give it some constraints. Of course, I'm not doing it very fine layout. Part of most of the things are manual, but if you're doing it a final app, you should make all those things programmatically, the dimensions and all. For text view, I'll keep it as it is because we can print a status probably at the end. So I'll just give it some ID, text view, status, and rest of things. I think I can leave it as it is. Probably I can just make sure that text part is the size is increased to say for example 24, and alignment over here I can change it to center. Yeah, perfect. So that's all in terms of layout. Now I'll quickly switch to my Java code, and over here initially I'll quickly define the class variables. So one will be for text view, and 3 class variables will be for the edit text, the plain text, whatever we have included. So one will be for FTP server. The name may not be same, it doesn't require to be, but I'll most likely keep similar name, so it's easy for me to understand which one is for which particular widget, which variable. Yeah, and the onCreate method itself, I will just associate it with all the respective widget, edit text FTP server, finding by ID r.id dot edit text FTP server. Now I'll go to the second one, no, not the FTP server, but the username and r.id dot FTP username, and the third one will be edit text password. So these are the only input which I need, the FTP server IP or whatever, and username and password to log into my environment. And then for the button trigger, I'll create a public method, public void button connect to FTP view. I'll quickly go back to my layout, and in this button on click attribute, I'll associate it with the method I just not defined button. Yeah, I come back, the color of this button will change like this. Yeah, now before I proceed to do anything on the logic part, I'll do one more quick things. I'll define my policy, the thread policy. So thread policy equals to new, because I want to keep it simple, so I just want to make sure that there is no issues when I am accessing the logic in the main thread. So I just do a permit all here, although it's in a good programming practice, it's not a recommended approach. So in your actual commercial app, you should change it with the by doing it in a separate thread, not to define or hard code the thread process. It's not a recommended approach, but just it's a quick solution. That's why I'm doing it. Nevertheless, once this is done, so now I can move to my main logic method, where I'll be defining an FTP client, new FTP client. Once I have this, then there are few logics I have to implement. One is the connect, and here I have to give the host name in the string format, so that we are anyway getting in the FTP server to string. I think I can just change it, and that should be sufficient. It's giving me some warning and ask me to include try catch. No problem, I'll do that. And once this is done, then as a next step, what I can do, I can probably try to log in, and here I'll need username and password. So both the inputs I'm getting, one is the edit text username dot to string, and edit text password to string. Yeah, so once I have these things, then to show the successful connection, either I can print the status out of it. So say for example, okay, I'll show you something. So in this login, it will return a boolean output as a status, whether it's true or false, whether the connection login is successful or not. So either we can print that, but most likely what I'll do is I'll print this part, FTP client dot print working directory. Yeah, so this is what I will prefer to print in my output, which is text view set text, and I'll do one thing. Control X, Control V. Perfect. So I think that's all. I'll run this and see how it comes up. So I'll repeat. You can also print the output of this status, but let's see. And what I'm expecting is it will print me something either USB 1 or I'm not sure. So I've just created this particular directory over here, and let me see how it comes up. So this will take a couple of minutes to come up the app, and I'll resume once the app comes up. Okay, the app has come up, but before I entered the details, I just now observed something that I have done a slight mistake over here. I forgot to enter the get text part, so I can't directly change the edit text into toString. I have to first fetch the text part. Let me rerun and see how it comes up. So it may take a while again. So the app has come up. Let me quickly test it. So I'll give the IP, I know this, then the username is FTP admin for my case, and then I'll enter the password. Once I've entered the password, I'll just click connect to FTP. Yeah, so I think it's connected. That's why it's printing me the directory, which is probably the root directory. I'll do one thing. Instead of just printing this, I'll change the directory to something, and then we'll see if it's able to retrieve the changed directory or not. Or as I told earlier also, you can always print the status also, whether it's true or false. So say for example, here also if I show, the return type will be boolean. So let me quickly test this. I'm rerunning the code. So I'll enter the details once again, and then the username, then the password, and I'll click on connect to FTP. Perfect. So if you have noticed, we are changing it to USB 1 file, so which is basically this particular directory path. So it's coming over here as USB 1/files. We can also take the return type and print type. But that's all I wanted to show you quickly in this particular code, that how easy it is. Just you have to do the connection and then log in using your username and password, and then you can do whatever you can do. There are lots of methods here. Basically, you can list the files, you can change directory, you can probably retrieve the files also. I'll show in some other video how to retrieve the files or add the files in the FTP server. So that's all. I hope this video is useful to you. If you have any questions or suggestions, then please put it in the comment section below. And if you like this video, then please subscribe to my channel. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye.